My first speech class was a bit of a disaster. I struggled to get through the presentation, I panicked, and I froze. But this led me to learn more about the area, and now I teach it. So I want to share some of what I've learned in the form of 10 quick tips that anybody can take with them to avoid the kind of situation that I went through. Starting with the first thing, which is to remember to breathe. Before you begin your speech, breathe. After you make a point, breathe. This allows you to speak with more projection and it calms you down. Breathing can even mark a transition point from one section to the next. The next tip is to ditch your full sentence notes. Throw out the full sentence speaking outline like an essay that you might typically read from. If you're going to use notes, paraphrase. Use keywords. Stick to very short sentences. That way you can focus on the audience rather than just reading straight from your note cards. The next tip is to open with something strong like a story. If you didn't notice, in this video I began with a story about my experience in my first speech class. Opening with a story, in my view, is the most captivating and effective way you can get the audience's attention right from the start. The next tip is to speak with inflection in your voice. Use your full pitch, vary your tone, your pacing, your rate, and this allows you to engage your audience more. So through inflection and varying your pitch and pacing and tone, you can become a more dynamic speaker. The next tip is to stop those filler words by using pauses. Instead of saying and ah, like, you know, okay, so, end the thought, finish your point, pause. Then you can move on to your next thought. So replace your fillers with pauses. The next tip is to fix your posture. Make sure you're standing upright, straight. You're displaying confidence. This allows you to feel more confident and it helps your audience to see you that way as well. The next tip is to make sure you're focusing and facing the audience and direct your eye contact towards them. Scan around the room. Find friendly faces. If direct eye contact is too much for you, you can even look between the aisles, look between audience members. That way you're facing them rather than looking down at your notes, looking at the ceiling, at the floor, or your PowerPoint slideshow screen. Focus on the audience. Provide lots of good eye contact. The next tip is to take advantage of all of your space. Use the stage. Move according to your points. Make a point, and as you finish, transition to the other side of the stage by walking to that other side of the stage. This way, you're more captivating, you're more dynamic, you're reaching all sides of the audience. You can even use the speaker's triangle, which allows you to mark certain points of your speech on certain sides of the stage. The next tip is to keep your slideshow short and sweet. Use text, images, and video in a way that enhances and supplements your speech rather than replacing or taking away from your presentation. It shouldn't be a distraction. You can follow what's known as the 6x6 rule when using text, where you have no more than 6 lines of text per slideshow and no more than 6 lines of text per slide as well. Keep your video brief, don't make it too long. The slideshow should only enhance your speech, so keep it short and sweet. Lastly, close with power. Give the audience something to take away with them from your speech. End with something memorable. The best way might be a call to action. Give them something to do, whether it's changing a behavior, voting, making some behavior modification. Give them a strong call to action and they'll leave your speech with something noteworthy that they can take away with them and apply to their own lives. And it allows them to feel a sense of finality. My call to action, then, in closing, is to take more opportunities to speak. So make sure you sign up for a speech class, join Toastmasters, try out clubs or community events that allow you to interact with other people, to practice and get more experience in public speaking. I hope you find this information useful. You can learn more at my website, publicspeakingbasics.com, or through looking at other videos that I've made available here. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Speak well, and I'll see you in the next one.